He was selling. And he was.
Guess what? Guess what I got? I sent secretary email that. Really? A request from Sundance. Sundance Trash Company,
He'll get the mail.
See, I've been talking to him.
I don't know if we had a.
Just talked to him last week and told him that we
Yeah, I
had
told
to talk about the process.
Yeah, I told him. I said,
What was the one we got the mail?
I'm working on, we're working on one right now.
Yeah, there was an advertisement came out last week.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
One of them, I can't remember which one.
One.
Sunday, if y'all would wish to do it, set up, we're working on it. But if you haven't had one, you have a bunch of cities, and you want to share it.
You want to share it? Yes.
So did you? But yeah.
Because it does the first. Nice. Next time I talk to you, say, well. You're a little bit sorry. But I'm. Okay.
That's why I stayed.
We're just having it.
What's the? Yeah, I think we got down. That you.
I told they were so big.
Oh, yeah.
One of them.
All of them are there.
Yeah.
One of them sits across the road, and when it stormed through, I was sitting on the front porch when he moved his truck over the front garage to his tractor. They're afraid to park up here. And instead, on the smaller ones, we do a little back into the field. Unfortunately, but that's.
Sorry, we're on the other side. Oh, yeah. The fence was going down. Yeah, they didn't. Well, Mrs. Robinson, did you talk to her?
She was worried about something.
Yeah, she was thinking it was the other guy.
Street out front, she was worried about it. That's
like the, it was, you know. What about that cottonwood on down the street that slants over the way?
Not all three.
Yeah.
See.
So you were on your side. Just seems a lot more. Yeah.
No, it's not, it's a road meter.
Well, I was just wondering, that's how
Yeah, it's,
always notice horses.
we're not bored of that, just. And then, we're gonna do that, we poured on the trees, talk about it. This will be the day for Get another one. Fruits on you.
Yeah. You get bad habits.
Cleaning stuff. Yes, it does.
So,
For this email. It's the video.
I know you're ready to hear already.
Yeah.
Remember, somebody watched at 7 o'clock, I was going to work. We roll the roll call. Dave Withers.
Present.
Carol Johnson.
Here.
Jerry Wicker.
Here.
Linda Simpson.
Here.
We have a forum. So right away, when everybody says comments, they want to kind of comment, why you need to see?
I have a couple of questions. In looking at the agenda tonight, I see that it's being considered to cancel the election. However, I have not seen nor was I able to find any information about how to apply to run for office. I've spoken to neighbors that did try to apply to run for office and were told it was too late. And I understand that it's too late, but how can anyone run for office if the information is not available?
It's been on the website since December the 22nd.
Where on the website? Because I looked
You
at
look
the
at the election, if you
2023
look.
election
We're
2023.
on the election.
Uh-huh.
There's all the information, not election 2023, for coming out. It's also been on the bulletin board out here since it's on second edition. And the deadline is stated, what they do is they go to the election day and they count backwards. And they set that down, so everything sets in. So every year, whether we post it, I mean, it'll be posted, whether you post it or not, it's gonna be right in the middle of February. Is when that day deadline is to leave. And I sit out here 3 hours on the next day, trying to accept the applications.
Well,
On 17.
and I'm not saying that you didn't sit here, but what I'm saying is it's unclear to people how they could run for office. And I understand what you're saying about it being on the website. But I went to the website and searched for it, and what I find is a page that says election 2023. I see the agendas, I see the minutes, and I see the page that says election 2023. The information on that page is mixed about 2022 and 2023. It has some information about how to form the early ballot, like there's a link to an ordinance about that, but I don't see an application. I don't see anything that tells me how to do date card.
And it's also been talked about every meeting,
It's not in the minute, because I looked at the last.
meetings here.
Yeah, but I'm not able to attend every meeting, I'm here, I had surgery 2 weeks ago, and I'm here to ask about it right now against medical advice. I've had pneumonia, I've had a dislocated thumb, I have 2 young kids. We're not all in a position to be at every single meeting. And I think it's not representative to only have the people here who are free to come at 7 o'clock on Monday. There's tons of us who have little kids and have other stuff to do. And so I should be able to keep a hand in on, okay, I'm able to understand what's happening in the city, especially with the number of changes that are happening relatively quickly. So thank you for your guidance on where to look on the website. I'll look at that after.
And the applications are online also,
They're on the
state.
With the state, so not on the Briaroaks website, okay?
The application,
State. That's where I got mine.
the application is a state application, it's not individual for here, it's a state.
Okay, is it linked on our local website? Okay, so I'll go look for that, so we'll know for next year and make sure that that is socialized.
It was there.
Yeah, because we're always looking for people to run for city council, nobody wants to.
We're looking.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't think that's true. I think the idea that nobody wants to run against us is not true. I think that it is unclear how to find the information, unclear where to find it, people don't know where to look, and,
I don't believe you said run against us. Nobody would run, is what the argument is.
okay, thank you for the correction.
Most of the board is new anyway.
What?
Most of the council is pretty new.
There's a lot of names that I've seen for quite a while. So I know that someone
Within
passed
the year,
away.
yes, within the year,
Okay.
but that's everything else used to be pretty smooth until you get like that.
I've been here a year. and you've been
Yes.
here a year. 14 years.
Yes, Terry,
And 2 years.
okay.
So, they're great. Whether you're not. I look at city council.
I know, and you've been appointed to mayor, I know. I think that's another reason why it's not sitting well. Now, I understand what you told me about where the information was, and that people have not been able to find it. And I do know how to use the internet, I do know how to search for stuff, and I had difficulty finding it. So I can only imagine what other people who are less familiar with the internet would have found. And I get it that that's not your specific problem.
I'll counter that with one thing. My phone number is on that site. And I answer them. That's my wife. I answer, I talk to them. If you have a question, call them. I pick up the phone. I mean, don't go bury your head in sand. Say, I'm not fan.
That's not a correct characterization for people burying their head in the sand.
Well, they can't come to the meeting complaining things you publicize. I mean, they're out there. City elections, all city elections fall under the same guidelines. Fort Worth, Dallas, Burleson, they all fall. You have to have verification that's certain.
But the idea that people don't want to run is different from the idea that people are having trouble finding how to run. So it may be that things have been, I really like the internet, I can't find it very rude.
Just back off.
So, like we said, it's been the same people for a long time and people were comfortable with the status quo. So they may not have been up to date on the things that they were representing. Now we're seeing a lot of changes, a lot of interest in increased regulation, increased ordinances. You have franchise tax, franchise fee on a trash place. And you may have to residents as a de facto tax. These are big changes. And there are people who are interested in being involved. So the characterization that they don't want to run is different from people are not clear how to find it. And people may be intimidated, Mr. Bogart, to talk to you based on some other things that have happened. Okay? So just, you may not know why, and that's not important.
I'm just open to be person to do.
But that's not important.
You know,
What's important is that it is not as good and okay as everybody may be thinking it is in town. Okay? So that's the end of my comment. People do want to run, people are interested in participating, but we're not able to find the information in time.
it's just, I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be calling. I just, yes, ma'am.
Someone may have covered it, but are you aware that you had 2 different elections pages on your website for current elections? Briaroaks.com/elections-copy-3 with lists you the mayor and acting secretary and it's lacking the information that is needed. There's also BriaroaksTexas.com/elections, which was only found through clicking on current year elections without going to the year and that having information. I think that's probably why more people might have problems finding what they were looking for because of the page listed 2023 election is not even an election. So I was curious as to like that was fixed. What can be done about that?
It can be fixed, but as far as taking applications for the electrical, like, fix it for next year or we'll get it going forward.
Do you think constituents might have some issues with the fact that there were two different election websites, one listing you as the city secretary for your own mayoral election, and one listing
If you send something to the secretary, BriaroaksTX.com, it goes to the secretary's email.
Now,
Check that almost on a daily basis.
can you act as the city's secretary and election coordinator for your own mayoral election?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm the state I can. Where it would also be before I got to the. I didn't want to cause issues like that.
But do you think it kind of paints a different picture? That kind of, even if it's technically
It
legal,
does, it does,
the transparency issue still
it does,
all right.
but it's not transparent, I mean, we have, four of them on this council, mayor and city council, put out four applications.
Okay, so I will the election were the 4 applications the incumbents? Okay. So do you think that when the website's
Three of them are incumbents, one's in.
three were incumbents? Now, do you
I
think,
really, I'm gonna, I have to run for my,
okay,
since I was one.
do you think though that when the website has 2023 elections as a page, that they have to go through kind of circuitous route to find the actual election information that might cause an issue?
It could,
It might cloud the responsibility of
Then, I'm sorry, Ken, that's the page that
Yeah.
that's what comes up first. And I think it's also important to consider, Sharon, I'm really sorry to make this. It's also important to consider that if you have, 4 openings, you got 4 applications and 3 of them are from incumbents, this math doesn't math. You know, that should be an indicator that something is unusual, something is off.
What is the problem?
I'm really not gonna talk about why I don't vote mayor. Because I was not running for office. That's not my objective this year. I looked at the agenda, and saw that we're gonna cancel the other. It's no big deal. So I went in to see, okay, what's going on? When did people apply? I wasn't planning to apply this year. Okay.
best thing to do next year, because I have 2 seats on.
Yeah.
Is it first of the year, we check, because we have to post it, I believe, by the first of the January. And he said, this past year, we had on bulletin board for secretary, senator, and town, and some.
And if there's like more information.
Let's look down the work together, we get started the first year.
And I understand that, just if you think about, we have a certain number of positions open and we receive applications from the incumbents who already know the system and not other people.
And that part, some of the incumbents didn't really want to run. They just left their application.
They
If there's no last one.
yeah, no, I get it. I think it's detrimental all around to everybody. But there seems to be a
And I had one to talk about, 7 to 10 days after, I think we really saw them. He called us, and he got out and paid for it, I explained to him.
Yeah.
It's good, it's okay. I don't know how to do it.
I have a question.
Sure.
So regarding this trash ordinance for franchise tax, I'm not gonna say whether I'm for it or against it, but I'm just curious, because I consider that an essential service. Has anybody voiced anything to you or anybody else on council that they would like a return of the franchise tax for the electricity taxes we get? I mean,
We already getting off the free.
I know, I'm just asking if certain people have communicated that they don't want this franchise tax. Has anybody asked, hey, we should give all that money back to the electric company? Because nobody seems to be complaining that we're getting that money. I'm just curious.
And then let everyone know that we just got a check, I picked it up last Friday. For UCS, and it's $27,000.
But it's safe to assume nobody's asking everybody to send, the city should send that money back, right?
And the rate on that, it's up for contract renewal this year, I've already got contracts to look at. It's at 0.3 cents per kilowatt, is what it is. It's minute, but when it all adds up, it makes a good check for the city. And without the franchise taxes, we're not gonna build enough funds to go into the general fund to repair roads, do the things that we need to do for the city.
So don't pay city tax.
I mean,
You don't pay.
almost 8 or 9 years ago, they resurfaced roads, it was over $100,000. Imagine what that cost city then. Just saying.
I will say that I think there's a difference between requesting a refund of existing taxes and wanting new taxes during a time of election, when you're already being pressured from the open pressures. And when we have the freedom to choose the most affordable trash service for our own program, compared to being pigeonholed into a particular trash service, knowing that there will be costs of taxes. And I'm curious, you were talking about the budget, has there been any public statement on what the amount of the legal settlement will be? Has that been finalized? Okay, what is that?
Was,
I didn't see it on the website yet, so.
it's not down there.
Oh.
But I did bring the copies. So $7,800, $77,000.
Okay, and was that put into budgeting, at that budget meeting, because I didn't do budgeting, for last month, but,
It was paid last year.
it was paid last year, so it's back. Is that part of the reason why you're wanting to raise taxes because we had this?
No. That was a real rarity. I mean, the thing, I want people to understand, this franchise tax is raise money for the community. Yeah, there's a little bit on revenue. If no one wants franchise taxes out here, we give them up, then we gotta go to the city property tax. You have to raise money to keep roads in the city up. If you don't wanna raise the money, then.
There's grant
Right now,
opportunities out there though.
there's lots of, and we're just starting to get into it. We gotta get into FedEx, we gotta get into the people that run up and down the roads all the time. Those are what we gotta get into. But we're getting into this. The territories that are charged for the council that we haven't went that direction before, we've got to look to see what we can do. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to get myself where I can get with the other cities to see what they've been doing with others, because they say that FedEx and bodies, they're good money makers for the city. And you probably won't see much. I mean, Amazon, I mean, there'll be a little bit on there. It's not a bunch, it's like electrical, 0.3 cents per kilowatt. It's not a lot, but when it accumulates over probably 250 households down here, we have right now. It adds up at the end.
Yeah, when you didn't click on it, adds up.
Yeah,
I,
but it's not a big increase. It's not like you're gonna see $20, $30 a month on a garbage bill. I mean, if we do this, I'm thinking $3 maybe.
over the course of time, and once you start adding increasing costs for FedEx, Amazon, and all this, that's going to be passed through to the consumer later. I'm curious, during that budget meeting, I pointed out the $600 phone bill budget, but
That was a good one, because I handled it.
did you?
It's $16.54 a month.
That's awesome, okay, because I was $1,200, and I thought, I
Yep.
definitely don't spend that on my bill.
Yep, I went out there and we took it off, and put it on there, and with the tax, it's $16.54.
Awesome, okay.
But just out of curiosity, all these interest and no fees and stuff, does anybody complain to Bob's about his $5 fuel charge that he's been adding on ever since the fuel been up, and but yet it's gone back in?
Well, the good thing is, when you have the freedom to choose service, all such services that you get.
We were at 2%.
You still have that,
Oh,
you still have that freedom.
You still have that involves.
No, you still have the freedom to choose who you want. If you don't want Bob's and you want to choose something, you still can do
So the
that.
franchise tax would be added to every.
Yeah, we haven't even
Yes.
discussed that, we were talking about stuff that's already been decided.
Yeah.
But it would be nice when we talk about it, or the only reason we would want to do one is because for the special price. And because the whole theory, one of the theories was that the pricing would be lower to make it for at least that franchise tag and a little bit more if we band it together. But if we can, you know, I know a lot of people love box, I love box, but I know one day I'm out to recycle, been talking to that one Rebecca for months now. So we just, you know, I think, yeah, forcing, but that was the whole thing about getting one. And it does sound like this trash thing is really a hot button because people have their preferences. I'm wondering if this is something that there could be some kind of polling of the city and say, look, you know, 50% of people want to go to this one and we are ready to band together, or. Yeah, and I haven't talked to Howard John.
I don't know how it works, it's just a suggestion.
I've talked to James about it from the community there.
Can we get this subject back on top?
Yes, I'm sorry.
We got any other comments, Susan? Okay. Consider and take action on minutes of February 6th, everyone have the next look at it. They have the issue one. Need a copy? Thank you, nice news tomorrow.
Are you losing it? Oh, on number nine, it says consider to take action on police and federal patrol positions, and then in parentheses, you have, do we limit them or not budgeted? That is an opinion, and it should be stricken in rules. The same thing with number 10, consider to take action on the treasurer position. You have in parentheses, do we really need one? That is an opinion and should be stricken.
I think they were online, I don't think you can. I think they ranked it on online, I don't think.
Not a thing.
That's the way it's worded.
What's in bold on minutes is what line I wanted on the agenda.
Yes, that's what it says. Yes, that's what it says on the agenda.
I got a motion and a second to amend the minutes with the change to Carol Moore. On the opinion, All in favor? Passes. Y'all might get these minutes earlier. I was saying that okay, now. Yeah. Rock and I, and, they probably close. Let me enter, you know, that hurt.
I can't find it. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, God, find it. And, you know,
Apparently. The next thing on the agenda, consider approve ordinance canceling general and special elections for May 6th. If there were no opposed positions, they were all unopposed. By rule, it was canceled, and I've already paid, also paperwork into the state. We said there was a reason to cancel here. I had to send that, Monday to night, 20, to have the final election applications. So we did not have to hold an election. What we have to do is accept and approve this ordinance. Don't want to read it, you can, but it was, and until it. I have to post this out there May the 6th, on election day.
I read it.
I sent it to everyone.
Yeah.
We've got to get through.
you said you have resolution about things.
Okay. I sent it to everybody, you had, you claimed that, she cleaned up some back. And I was number 3, I'll do it.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Motion to accept. Fair motion to accept.
I say.
Wow. I can't think of them, it's always gonna take it. They're all clear. Jane, when you get there, I'm sorry to invest in better. The other person, get the election policy. Yeah. This is that. Everyone wants to know, the unopposed people that were on this election, Mayor, myself, Council place 2 was open, Kelly Alton. Council place 4, Barry Woodcher, Council place 3 would be the special election, to replace mine this evening. Mr. Jack Murphy, the May 6th, will be retiring from the council.
After how many years? You may know.
So, I don't know how many years Jack Murphy.
No.
Next thing on the agenda, consider to approve fire ban ordinance, this is the third final reading. As I mentioned, we could do here, back up to November, they only require 1 instead of 3. I'm not gonna read it, it's just, fireman to match the documents. Fireman, there was a question about the amounts of, penalties and stuff like that. vote last meeting, either as it was. So.
It's on the agenda, we need to refund.
That's what we, so I'm gonna need to pass this thing, get it going. Get it reports, get it.
Make a motion.
I think it's too cumbersome. I think that it's more fire code than a fire ban. I think it gives the council. We should just have a simple one-page fire ban with the fire chief or some professional instead of the council and the mayor running it.
The fire chief asked the mayor for the fire ban to be completed.
There's nothing mentioned in there, and it also doesn't mention the time you can burn or when you should quit.
So because we have determined that the fire chief, actually the county does.
Well, it doesn't even mention the fire chief in here.
Now, meant the county, we're gonna go by the zone of the county. Well, the county, the city, and it won't go by this.
It's too cumbersome.
Not be there. He didn't bring it up for us. Sorry.
Looks like a council now.
I think we have some big ones.
So why we couldn't have a simple one that you can read it and understand it without having to read it?
It has to be detailed, and it be legal, right?
Yeah, it'll be the target in there.
There are certain things that are required that they don't do anything that should be.
That they-
I did the same thing to the election. She started from what
Not a little bit more.
It's
I think more
hard
is
to
better.
understand.
Since you, that's why I should, and I think, please consider the guy from all. If follows or comes in,
Yeah, well,
all of
we're not. We can go by the county, we can have just one page that says it. We tried to pass one about a year ago. That was simple, and it gave the fire chief the ability to determine if the
I think it's simple, right? You look at the same thing, 1.6, says for the mayor, well, mayor designee,
I know,
goes out and designates the fire chief.
I think the law that you said is now need to be, realize that, I'm talking, I didn't interrupt you when you stopped. That there's gonna be a lot of houses when they propose, there's gonna be rental properties, where we put Airbnbs and things like that. It's happening everywhere, for Dallas, I don't know, we go to the project too, we really need to be aware of that. So some of these ordinances and things like that, you might think they're too wordy, that everybody's gonna do the right thing, on for them. But we're gonna have to keep people in here, that we would like to have it ready, in place, in the lead, not have to.
And read.
That's what it's-
there's room for abuse in our life. There really is.
Yeah, that's when you vote out the people that's doing it.
Well, used by the city, used by the, and the margin, used by the rest.
No, the council and the mayor.
Some people that really charge them.
No, but there's
And you
still
don't get rules, or you just-
somebody to look at a piece of property and say that is a fire hazard when they may not like the person. It should be left to the professionals.
I think we should go by the same way this time.
Yeah.
We really need to.
But that's what we're trying to
That's
do.
the way we have a professional right there that's gonna give investigation, he's the one that's gonna go
It
out.
doesn't say though, it says that the mayor could
Yeah.
appoint anybody if it be his.
And you're absolutely right there. Problem is that it only happened once. It's, if a mayor was to appoint somebody that was obscure and not of best interest, there's 5 other citizens that should take action, instead of change it.
Well,
But that's the case with
why,
any,
why, then wait and take action later. Why not now? Why not name the chief now in these? He's the professional.
I would say designate is an availability for if the city grows or we hire somebody, it's not the city person. It's a professional, we just.
Yeah, they give it to me and I got a question.
We have,
Hey,
we
I
have,
want to do everything on the
we have an ordinance that names the final.
No, it means, maybe you're to it means as, just like as. That's all it does.
I make a motion to accept the decision. I would do it, but I don't count it. I second that.
Take it as it is, and all in favor? One against?
We rotate, we get the wealth.
Yep.
Yes, but
Yes, ma'am.
so if you're not signing off on whoever, if it says the mayor signs off on whoever makes the designation, and whether or not something is fire master, does that open you up to liability if there's an issue down the line? Well, then the mayor, because the mayor is not specifically a fire official, but the mayor oversaw the selection.
It could, that's all it insurance.
It is expensive, you don't have to think on that.
Hey, someone says fire and then your house in, they start firing their property, and you got nobody to complain to, you got,
Anybody can.
the main thing behind this is, this is Johnson County puts a fire pit. It doesn't include this.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, and that's why we have to have this.
Yeah, ordinances, but I think she makes a good point. If you have someone signing off on, you know, if it's still kind of not clearly articulated that it will be a fire professional making decisions. And if
And like I said,
it's the mayor.
pretty much gonna be designated, that's gonna be right there.
Good, if you, I said 3 meetings in a row now, you say that you're writing an ordinance. The mayor's designee, you're not always gonna be the mayor, it may not even be always
So the
somebody.
next mayor can change it.
Yes, exactly right. So, the fire chief requested an ordinance,
So the city council can then bring it back up?
the fire chief requested an ordinance, and you wrote an ordinance that doesn't mention the fire chief. That is strange, that's valid.
Well, I'm, you know, for like the city council, when I'm thinking about this, I'm like, if there's an issue down the line and somebody can argue that the city council made this decision and oversaw whatever, you know, they were the final say, not a fire
I
professional.
would hate to see
That would
someone,
be an issue.
just speaking out of turn here, I'd hate to see someone demand me for going after someone burning, whether it's fire through the state, and they're burning, or potentially burning anyhow.
Exactly,
I
I'm all for
think
that.
I could do that just by any court law, so I'm not afraid of that.
Not to mention, president has already been said by Johnson County.
I've had 2 people last week call me, asking if they could burn, is there a burn there? And I told them, no, you can burn, but you can, you water in. And everything's green right now, we thought people were moving across the street on Saturday, and wasn't moving, it's really burning. Top, right? But
I have a question, I just want to be clear, designee, whether the mayor or whoever it is, they can only enforce something if there's a burn ban with the county, right? So if the county has an active burn ban, the only thing that person, whoever it is, whether it's the mayor, whoever's appointed, can only act if the county is determined that we're in a burn ban.
right.
But to further clarify, the scope is not you are actively burning on your property in violation of the burn ban. It is you are actively burning, or someone who may or may not have fire education qualification believes that your property looks or qualifies as a fire hazard. It has both components from what I've understood as council.
Exactly. There's room
It's
for
the,
a few.
it's the second part, I think, that is raising some concern. So, it's just to make clear that there's two parts here, and one is abundantly clear, and the other one
And the other thing is, this ordinance are like regular laws, they can be changed. Council doesn't like it, something happens, and we don't like it. Next council doesn't like it, be changed.
Okay, and that might be after we pay out another 10% of the city revenues in a legal suit. So it's, you know, there are reasons to think about these things beforehand and mitigate those risks.
Well, there's methodology, those concerns. People come to the council, and the council says that designee is improper, something's gonna change. That's the process.
Good. As, I said, it doesn't grab it, they'll bring it like to be.
And Howard, we done with the apartment because we had a balcony in that set.
You should have everybody. And the sign.
Yeah. No, they.
Then vote.
Okay.
3-1 or something. Yep. Then we get a copy of the city council, or city council, city secretary of the English. The one we're serving. No, mine is the. I said, oh,
Yeah. No. Where are we going to find a city secretary? Well,
Do you remember nice?
this.
Have your coat. I don't know if you're looking for the one or.
yeah, we just.
I'll have to like.
The only thing
I really.
that I see is bonds will be paid by the city.
Oh, man.
I don't get that.
They will pay me for that.
No, why the city is paying for the bond,
All cities do.
no,
they
no,
don't.
Really? I was, the economic development commission compensated
Why,
this
why
person to do
should
this.
we pay for a bond for the secretary or the treasurer?
Yes.
The treasurer, it states, the state states that, the treasurer will put up a bond.
Yeah, basically, the bond was protected by police.
Yeah,
That,
but,
the city made up on the name.
but, that we carry it on, it's not like, and we think that, well, the city had set the bond.
Yeah, what else said?
Well, we have to decide. It couldn't, I mean, we could send it.
Put the cost of the bond, 10%. No, that's right. I read all of you.
So you.
One way to look at it. We can pay for advantage. We have to add to the salary and the salary.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it.
Well,
We're not getting new.
I don't know if we. Secretary was required.
They're gonna request the bonds, but you're gonna have to pay for bonds.
Now, we're in it.
Sitting on that, I'll say.
But I think we need to get back with you on this environment. Sure.
But I don't sure, this how does that get?
Now, something we got was y'all think about that?
I think it's interesting. Simple. Okay. I think I understand what the question was now. The question was, if we have a separate secretary and treasurer, secretary is part of the bonded. We just finding this to be positions, therefore, a treasurer, which is the same person, is bonded. So the question was, if it's separate, and it's a secretary required to be bonded, I think that was the question.
Okay, that's a good question.
What are we protecting if the secretary is in charge of the secretary? They don't have the finances, unless they're writing checks, okay. Well, it really occurred.
That was a short of energy. It was safe on there.
If they're gonna get our checklist, the other credit check. We are. Just thought.
What was the question?
You probably got to give them a raise too.
But before we hire a secretary or treasurer, we do a background check. I don't know what that entails, what level we all do. I just wondered if maybe somebody should think about throwing a credit check in there. Just because you never know. In my business, we run into people that appear to be legitimate business people in our neighborhood, and their credit score is 300. You just didn't realize it. You hand them the check. That would be a problem.
No, that's a good point. There's nothing everybody runs for every courtroom.
I don't know the background checks, but I am involved with security and financial, everything else. So I don't know what other people do here.
No, it does.
Everything on the wall, man.
No, it's like, I'm being on the same.
You know, inside of
What we got so far, this question on bonds, who's gonna take over, check everything on the trust.
I'm just seeing kind of when.
You just gotta check on bonds. Sure.
Does it say, I mean, can this be a procedure to say, hey, my city secretary is just so many meetings or anything like that, or she go, the procedure before anything? It's basically what it is, just. You looking at that? What are you gonna do about, first, bringing the background check, and maybe, credit report? And one thing I too is the supervision exercise received general administration direction from the mayor and city council. I think it should just be the mayor. I think it's this thing secretary get directions from all sides. You should coordinate it. It shouldn't just be from all sides. That the city council should go to you. then what is this, we're about to post notice on bulletin boards and post a sign out for the meetings, is that gonna be part of the meeting as well? They want to website. There's a little bit of information in it. But I think it should be in the skill section because to me that is a skill. So then they can do social media and Facebook and next one I heard is the finger closing that. And about how many hours today do we anticipate this person working? Last day.
There's a lot of real high skill job. Not very skilled, they work 40 hours a week,
That's correct.
all month.
After do this and whatever happens. I do not count it, I don't believe on exactly what that's the end of the law. What does that mean? And are they required to put in checks on all meetings, or are they gonna check on all meetings? They are to be a signer, holder of the papers, pays all the bills.
Well, now we're
But back to that, if we have combined with
Right, yes. But on this, the last thing is on the surface page, the TMCA, that's huge. I'm not part of that first page with that. It's very expensive and fastest that you can get through that program is 2 to 3 years. It says, there is, the fastest enrollment can conclude the program is 2 to 3 years based on their ability to attend the seminars. I just think this.
Was that I distracted us from one look at this?
Yeah, that's. And we have to go to some of these, really, I guess, I do it up, you got to do it.
We in the city sector, we got a whole lot of work to do. We need to take a minutes. I guarantee you, I have to do the last 3 months. So your market, was here in the next meeting, or? Did anyone want to go to the same thing?
Yeah.
Or not, anybody else? It's probably consolidated.
Right, but that's the thing, is between the secretary and the emergency and hospital, if you guys, so it's called a launch report. So even if you're individual sending it to him, the idea is that he's communicating with that line. So if you have a city secretary, you could send them all to the city secretary, and the secretary would consolidate it and bring it. If you wanna send them to me, I can consolidate it and bring it. And then that way something's kind of put together already for the next meeting. But the whole point of the meetings act is that you all are not communicating about city business in groups outside of open meetings. So I understand that it's the function of part of this institutional that not should have a person that would usually handle all. You won't have a position, but until that's filled, if you want to do that. Then we have an option.
Are you on it?
I'm not, if there's any secretary of the treasurer.
So take this another longer, it's the way it is, the secretary.
So we do some more, or they would,
I guess, then the next meeting will bring up the markets, then to you. Then get it go from there, so I understand it, I'm not on.
very hard, so.
Well, not this, I mean,
Unless we find somebody who steps up once a
well, what are the different,
We didn't do the first reading, the background check.
We vote, none, the quicker.
They talk, there is. Yeah, that's it. They're gonna get you by this. Background check, we got, and background check.
Yeah.
And we got a background check, we need a report, not that I know of, but that's the city's.
Yeah, these days, yeah. John.
Never done a fire with us.
And I think the best stuff, not some of the little word,
Doing
is a city secretary about notice on the board and sign for the meetings outright.
I thought it was still gonna be signed.
Hmm.
I thought it was still gonna be signed, yeah, then it's just telling the boys, where they said this.
That was, Ms. Mayor,
Yeah,
there wasn't an anti-workers' comp bill today, it was a good time to start, sort of thing. We hadn't done the audits before, we hadn't done this before, we hadn't done that before. If we're gonna start with that, we probably ought to start back. Just, Ms. Witcher was just saying about how the city's gonna be changing.
I think we're all for background check.
And
Maybe something that just says like by state approved or source or something like that, so you don't pigeonhole yourself to a single company. I was saying, if you're gonna do a background check, it should say something like a background check by state approved source, rather than just pigeonholing yourself to a specific company, or just to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, but it's still approved by the state. That's just my opinion.
you also need to determine what the zone will pay for you.
do something like,
Ask the sheriff how comfortable they do. You could have the sheriff comfortable, and they do maybe.
For their office staff,
Just a
like
little,
for a law enforcement officer or.
no, for their employees, even when they hire.
You need to find out, is there different levels of economic?
Because there's a legal, that will give you a legal precedence, start from.
They usually don't.
I would bet you can't be a volunteer firefighter, because that's what she checks. And he had a process. Then locked up.
I'm sure, I'm sure.
Right.
What about the website, everything, on out,
Do I?
the thing for us, like, so.
Yep, seen something.
you don't abandon it, still send you this.
One thing's correct, one else, total volume, gender publication, job announcements, on the city website.
Okay.
Right about the qualifications, knowledge.
In social media, Facebook and Nextdoor, there's the agendas, video, and some, you have some kind of election.
So we have those
Campaigns.
face the other side.
Yeah.
Rumors, disinformation, innuendos.
Yes, there is.
This is gonna be.
There is a Facebook.
Well,
There is a Facebook page. Yes, it- Nobody, moment.
There was small,
There's, yeah, it's still out there.
it's still on, Facebook. Okay, so everyone will write the notice of the next meeting.
yeah.
Notice to the next meeting.
Mr. Mayor, if I could make a suggestion about the job description. I was gonna ask if the job description has been benchmarked against other cities of similar size, like Hawken or others. Just so, sometimes that makes it easier to make sure that everything's a good fit. So I just wanted to ask that, instead of trying to craft it from whole cloth.
Well, I plagiarized
Well, I hope
see,
it's from Burleson or somewhere big, I was thinking more our size.
And it started out, when it started out, I think it started out as 7 pages. I got it down to 3, and I took a lot of stuff out because I think one city I went to was Coughlin, I can still one, and two period of months. If you went into it,
They're
the
really
format was almost,
Yeah.
format was almost identical.
Cross Timber might be a good one to look at because they're quite small. They have a social media presence. They have a lot of the same things we do. They're about half the size, but there are some other smaller communities like ours that might be a more appropriate benchmark, so you don't have to do so much vetting. You know that you've already done it, you can verify your stuff.
Yeah. I already got me asking about these houses.
Cost Timber Secretary volunteers.
Doesn't. They volunteers.
He volunteers, but he don't.
So they're volunteering now, rules, you know, and they're in class.
I've been over there too.
Yeah, this city here should have never went class A this month. They don't have any population. Okay, so everyone's not recommending it. And then next one, consider take action on trash collection ordinance or franchise tax collection. Everybody's out. Again, when you look at.
James, do you want to start? Or you don't need that? Perfect. Online. Here. Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's in your stuff. The figure we have to do the same for just with that last section. That everybody worked inside over the reading. Well, I think it's ready to read because we're gonna have to do this anyway, that's anything hours. So everybody can go over a little bit, but say this is it, this is content was 11, 12, just last month, now it's 7. So there has been some.
It was actually 6, because one of them was definitions.
Correct, yeah, correct. So that is, it's not gonna apply and I want everybody to really kind of go through this now and say, you know, make any corrections and also.
I will say that what we did is we took Howard's comments. We went through, adjusted where it was made with the council. And made some of the items reworded, some of it, so it's open for other possibilities. We did have, did go through that for a half. Most of that, a lot of that got struck, some of it was deemed worthy to retaining written modifications.
Yeah, because of the thought of, what you said earlier, I feel like you have to think about everything's fine now, but if it's not, you can't review ordinances all the time, they're a lot of work. And then, especially to start with a thing like this one, there's a few that need a little tweaks to nothing like this. But there's wording in here that says the rules, regulations may include, but not necessarily be strictly this may. It's not like we're shoving anything down anybody's throat, it is for the city's protection. And then make sure that trash is done right and then prevented, you know, if that, we have to have an ordinance in place in order to do that.
You instructed the trash can in a container on a trash can, it's still in there, says per refuge or per garbage contractors. It's in other words, in their contract. Most of them have something about what they do. It says there's something that will be done.
That's the ordinance, now, that's the contract, side of the,
Yeah, sad. It just, we're not reiterating that.
So I think included here too, if we want every contract.
I think this should be read so the audience can.
well, we're getting finalized, really like.
We put it on the website.
Yeah, here.
I know, but this is
Like I
like,
said,
this will affect them.
Like I said, let's get it, like I said, you get 12 dogs, or you got, 22 or something else, when you sign for them to pick up your trash, he's looked fine print, 90% of it's in this. And they're telling you what to do, what to do, and how to do it.
They will be on the website, just like the
God will
hurricane
pick
was.
up what you put out.
That's
So that's not necessarily.
That's
Well, they have to be true for me.
Me too.
And I always don't put it in a trash can.
Clean bag.
I bag it, but I also use, my feed bag.
We got that. My next door neighbor, was that 3 days last week? They part of it, offers.
See it in the map.
So I had 3 days.
Anyway, we're not,
Yeah, we're not on this.
it's gone back and it basically puts all in, it states those things, but it basically puts it back on there without breaking sign.
Yeah, and we're also gonna ask that they,
Oh,
are they to get
yes.
license, please don't interrupt me, they get started there with the computer. Ask them to, the trash companies to be licensed with this town. That's the way that we know we're gonna get the revenue from doing. We stop driving those big trucks on these streets, they're responsible for paying the city tax and money. Or repairs. It's the only way we can make it, we can't chase the on the road.
Well, did you say if we have a contract with a certain work? Okay. No?
It's open, right now, it's open to any provider that will get a license.
I'm hoping to interrupt them, but
So,
But will it be like exclusive?
no, right now, it's not.
what's the provision?
I mean, when it started, that was, the goal was to get the fees down, because you have an exclusive contract. But now there's opposition to that, so it was rewritten and bought.
Well, you're still going to have 2 or 3 different.
So who's been licensed, runs the day they're doing.
Because we
If we try to narrow it down 1 or 2, provides me, no one wanted to, so we made it on.
Yeah, but we don't. We're hoping that they do narrow down. If there's just one, person in this town that is being out there trying to get that, and I hope that they would do what you do. Because that's not a very big thing.
Yes, ma'am.
At any point, would you be open to posting a public comment, while you're doing these revisions? I think that might be more of a change than doing revisions and then having the public say what they can value. I would like to see comments, even if it's just.
And we're gonna put it on the website. Once we get through with this one, or we like, just like we did the fire ban, because then it's gonna have readings, and that's when in those readings, it's not gonna be a one-time, we talk about it and it's 2 is what we normally do. So we really have to approve one time, if it's not, then you have to go back and make any changes, and then you have to go back like this first time again. So you'll have many choices, and it'll be on the website so you can see it.
Will there be options to opt out? Because as it stands right now, if someone even happy with all the services, they can drive to Cleveland themselves. And are we going to institute something where someone needs to select a trash service?
No.
Right.
You want all those paying about
Okay.
You're not paying trash to go to somebody, that would be paying a fee.
That's me, I don't pay trash service.
Do I?
I don't pay for trash service. I haul it off.
And that's okay, but I think as long as they haul it off, that is a good point to make, because I've seen that, do that on a regular basis, and I've heard that different towns, I heard it.
That opens to another of your, no, they can't just call it off. They have to call it off to the appropriate place.
I haul it off the ferry side.
Okay, everyone do their markups, bring it to the next meeting, and we'll find it on the. Right, I might share it with you. Reasons. The sheriff, sheriff from this area.
That ain't the legal piece.
I know,
So when we're ready for it to be reviewed, that's my thing.
yeah,
I'm working on that.
okay. How long is the next one? Okay, Well, I'm gonna say consider vacation on a federal contract with a drugs over various standards to where they'll come back and say they apologize for being late. The amount I go up about $1,000. We had approved $10,564 with 10% contingency. That $1,000 may not cover that contingency.
Yeah, can you increase it to that 10% and then the additional, you know? Certainly.
I think you're gonna be close to one.
Maybe you can increase.
Because we're almost a year down the road since they voted.
I know, I did talk to him today.
Is he coming next time?
We're still in, it's the weather, and we're there, and obviously, $2 million job, some to solve. So he doesn't have leverage. Yeah, so.
You see him following this. Good.
I don't know if I'm talking. And then they hired to be already on 20 or 23, the original 20 still there. There's just some things about smart than maybe something.
Well, you have any indication where you increase to?
He told me last time, at least 10%.
At least.
I have a question. If you guys approve something, why can't you just draw the check and lock it in? Then they can't go up on us. I don't know, like, you paid them, so at least you can't keep going up. If they keep delaying it, they keep making more money.
Well, we have some inverse contract, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Or if you have the money, then you go out
You
and
didn't have money.
They didn't have.
well, that's what I'm saying. Approve this, so then you can enter a contract with them. So at least it doesn't keep going up.
But what if we find somebody else?
I don't know. I don't know.
Closest to that guy, close to that guy was almost 3 times.
Okay, I've got one that's gonna have to do well for us also this Sunday. Or a building, and snitching, and she's, anyway, I was gonna see if you could go, I don't know, that it's like a lot of work, so I think I can just, yes, get out of it now. Target. Then another problem.
I suggest we follow the different, but I suggest we follow the different, approve a number, go with them, right, and have them agree to sign it, you know. In their mind.
I'm gonna make a motion that we just put in a ceiling budget 15,000 on the project.
We want each others to go in and sign a contract with someone, sign that amount, or you just say, no matter what you do.
That's an excellent question. I believe, I don't wanna do this again for another month, so.
Yeah.
Yes, we will authorize up to that amount and authorize contract negotiation. On the mayor. Yeah, the legwork is done by somebody else. You're just bringing in the top half and the bid.
I just wanted to verify that whoever we met that. Just talk to it. Thank you. I make the motion.
Yeah, send it to her. Yes,
Note,
Question, did y'all ever approach any of the civil engineering or construction meetings when programs?
No. The city doesn't want the liability.
Even though it'd be overseen by the professional engineer? Or the,
Now, what the liability is, they're not professionals.
okay.
Now, if somebody out there is professional, that's insured, bonded, and they hit a car or destroy something, we're not liable. Gas line, I mean, there's a big old AT&T line goes right through there, about that big around, I see it. And I'm not paying for that.
If it doesn't grants, then what would be signed off by an engineer? It wouldn't be, you know, what's not wrong.
Yeah.
well, that's two parts here.
Liability
One is
is
the design piece that gets signed off by a PE. The other is actually the construction work that's not done.
Even if it was.
That's on the license, it's bond construction company that may be run by PE.
Even if it's through the.
They don't, I've not known any school that will go will do turnkey. They'll do the design, They will not then send their people out, as an engineering group, send their people out to oversee project they design, because it's all in theory.
I mean, it was like 40 years ago, but when my mom was at OSU and in the marketing program, they just, labor projects, which they go out and design and implement.
We're in the city park, we were doing infrastructure, thing like that was falling, that plenty of time to work on it. So we were trying to get this culvert fixed for over a year.
Well, some of these work holes, some of them work holes, but
Yeah.
I mean, I went past those 40 years ago when she did it.
Well, some of the outlay projects may or may not have it, sometime would be an excellent consideration for that. Something that needs to be prepared now, we don't have the time to go through a semester for it to be assigned, approved, and overseen. So what would you motion, because I already motioned that price and the
Okay, sorry.
motion, the project not to exceed 15,000, and the mayor be, negotiate the contract when we get that price settled with.
Second.
Got a motion? No, to do this culvert repair of the ceiling on 15K. Myself negotiate the final price, and secondly, all in favor,
Price was Kevin.
price is paid. All in favor?
Back to the question about what happens if something, if they don't perform, you can always give some convenience or free. Doesn't matter.
Item 10. Consider the approval of the contract to the Hotfield tree clearing. The burning trees, the roads, the 15-foot height, fill all the city street for traffic safety. This includes clearing, harbor, and curb here, our city limits, and dangerous areas. I've taken the time to get the three quotes in. We had Shambles, tree service for 13,000 to do this. I think there's advanced tree service without Arkansas. $19,000. And Camacho tree service landscaping out of Arkansas. Come in at 58.50. You're not 58.
Oh, thank God, it's just a dollar.
I'm not saying how you get
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But what's funny is that there's no tax to pay the city.
And this was 5,000 wood?
58.50.
When can they get started?
So we haven't been to meetings. We do have 5 miles of roads in the city. Traffic can run them all down there in 5 miles.
That is that time from the show that we had.
So the ice storm here down in trees, down the street, they've been hanging down.
What the foot from the
Off the entrance of the street. Reason I mentioned the collective deal, I mean, they were voting for this. I didn't see a reason to chop back on vehicles. Personally, it was, we got the right to buy the vehicle.
I think he does, they had 2 trucks that come, and they were both on the edge of the street, and we both have the foot to the 16-inch mirrors, we're getting the branches built. I don't think it's out.
Is there some kind of standard we can refer to?
It's standard.
And what kind of trucks are we talking about? Garbage trucks or regular passenger trucks?
Either way. It's It's a DOT, it's a DOT road.
Part of them is like, it's just not gonna be done.
Yeah, it's a standard, so people can't say, well, it was arbitrary and somebody just decided.
The standard is 15 to 16 foot for city streets, height, and off the side. I don't put, I think, the guy that's our, go to the city like forwards, and they would make it done like that. I took a foot, put on 82 foot, I can work in on that. If it's not gonna be, the company you have to, use to try to at least. I prefer free.
And that's all cities.
Yes, that follows the street, that's however, they have sewer, that's both sides, we'll do both sides. And it's Briaroaks, we'll do both sides. So you know, say, similar to the end. Trailwood, we go all the way east, west, to the center, stop. And then, I don't think Meadow is gonna be much, the liquor will be around. Yeah. But,
And gonna include Carl.
including department, police, yes, or.
We need to get the county with this, side of our. That's bad, cars are there, but I got the department of the wrong. It's all that you can say.
Okay. They'll bring the drive, I'll bring the. See that. But, you know, you'll hear. It's out there, you know.
Soon, but they do.
I just have the I got the scroll around the days of the clerk. So you do all that. And they love, we have that up.
See how much?
If we limit the 2 feet, then I'm going to make a motion to move forward. Ooh, I like 3. How much is safety work?
Not. So I'm gonna take.
Or next. Yeah.
We're gonna do this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That works.
And I'll go 16 here.
Okay.
So the attach, give us something. If you're gonna go 2 feet, you're gonna probably need 15%.
I'll do the 2 things.
That was great. It's no more.
And safe.
Right?
And that's it.
75 members. It goes to by the mayor. With. Yes.
Make the motion. But now then, I didn't know that person, I have to wait and get them.
It turns stay in love.
Yes. Make the motion. 7,500 not to exceed, mayor to negotiate price schedule. Sorry, not right.
What was the amount, 771?
7,500.
Well, 2 to 3 feet from the empty street. The empty street's not well defined anymore. 3.
Yeah. Yeah, just negotiate what you can negotiate on. And then, but that's a good thing.
A motion, so, Fonzo, son, in the road, so. You see $7,500, supervisor schedule, and myself, we go get the vote, and second, all in favor? Here, future agenda items.
Audit status,
Look,
audit status.
the main one that says,
Wow. Where's that?
that word,
I will be on to the board.
Okay.
some of you,
Okay.
you may be on
I'm going to say this. Okay, track ordinance. Okay, right on.
the, yes,
I'll send you the.
Can we get it, so we get it on the agenda, so it's not assumed that it's like, oh no, we gotta begin.
you got it? I would love it. Okay. Then, please. This comes from all of you. City lights and the big by us, I look at the city and they know
It doesn't have to be a thing.
yeah, I think it could be one thing sometimes, it's gonna be.
Well, it's hard to see up hell and don't you?
You've been there for a while, so you never see that.
So I go with
When she doesn't have to be.
That's not really easy to do. Yeah. See, forecast, see.
Doesn't have to be municipal city.
I don't think so. I haven't been to some parties in a long time. Like bias that it's some. That's normally what you see, but I think it's probably just this.
So we shouldn't lose tired.
But, no.
Get explains that either. No, visible. You want to think it in there's frequently. And under consider. Like said,
I'm the drawing.
if they don't have that, it is 8:25 here, there's. Mark.